Welcome to Childcare Conversations with Kate and Carrie.
Today on Childcare Conversations with Kate and Carrie, we're diving into a topic that lies at the very heart of every childcare program, making decisions around safety and licensing. We're doing that today with Tracy Nardo, who has been in the industry almost as long as I have, which, we don't get that very often. So welcome, Tracy, and let's talk about how to keep our employees and the kiddos as safe as possible.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me today.
So Tracy, I'm just going to jump in real quick just so that everybody gets to know a little bit about you. So if you will give us not all 36 years, but give us your start and present and anything in between that you might want to.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Thanks, Kate. Yes, I have been in early childhood for 36 years. I have spent the last 14 of those years in like a risk management, safety licensing role in early childhood. It is my passion. I'm so excited to talk to you guys today about all things safety and licensing.
Well, great. And so you started out though as a classroom teacher. Is that correct?
I did. I was 18. I started out in the 2-year-old classroom. And if you know anything about early childhood and twos, that's a hard classroom, but I loved it. I love the little ones. So yeah, I would say the little ones, the toddlers, infants, toddlers, and twos are probably my favorite. So a lot of people can't say that.
That was my first classroom as a lead teacher.
Yes.
I wasn't 18, but I wasn't much older as a lead teacher in a toddler twos. They left our center the semester they turned 2. So I had 18 months to 2.5, basically.
Okay. Very nice. Yeah. Takes somebody special. I say that all the time. It takes somebody very special to work in a toddler and twos classroom.
Yes. I tell everybody I will take those infants and I will take those school agers. Y'all get the middle. So, So you have found yourself in risk management. You even mentioned that you view this as the missing piece. Why is this the missing piece?
I think schools are so busy these days, and sometimes training goes by the wayside. Since COVID, I think a lot of people are struggling with staffing. And so the minute we find somebody on paper that looks good, we hire them, we get them in the door, and then we have to put them in the classroom because they're needed for ratio purposes. And we sometimes forget to train them properly. So they're left in the classroom. Hopefully that teacher will train them on all the policies and procedures. And then, something may happen. And when you do that investigation on the why, sometimes it turns out where they haven't been trained properly. So I think training is sometimes the missing piece.
Gotcha.
Or that I have found.
We're trainers. We think training is almost always the answer to a problem, right?
Yeah.
Because that's our mentality. When we were directors, it was all about training. Like in the orientation at my centers, not the first year, it took me a couple of years to get to this point, but I was like, I will only pay for up to 150 hours of training per year. And by saying that in the orientation, people were like, up to 150 hours.
Yeah.
It changed their mindset from the state requires X number to I can take more than that. I can continue to learn and deepen.
Yeah.
So that people who wanted to get their CDA in 1 year, that's great. That's 120 hours. Let's get that, and then whatever licensing requires on top of it. And so I would agree. I think if you don't start with good quality training day one or even before day one, then you can definitely miss some things.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And I think it's really good too to put them in the classroom, kind of see if they've never been in childcare, put them in the classroom. They need to know that they are changing diapers and they have to lift a certain amount of weight before they can accept that job in that particular classroom. So I think there's a lot of things that they don't know. So putting them in there just to kind of, with maybe a mentor teacher is helpful.
So Tracy, if you were having a conversation with a fairly new director and you could give her a piece of advice related to licensing or risk management, what would be the number one thing you would tell her? Them.
Wow.
Boy, I was very sexist there. The male or female director.
I would tell them the reason why. Why are we doing training? Why is it so important? Why are we talking about safety? All the whys to all the training pieces, because sometimes, you might do something virtually online and you're just kind of clicking through and you're doing 3 other things at once. But the reality is, if they're really focused and you're talking about the reason behind it, it's not just we're going to click it, and then get that certificate. So really, really diving into the why.
So what would you tell
And
them
having
the
that,
why?
having that crucial conversation. What's the why on safety and licensing? Well, if it's on safety and licensing, then it could be, if we're not doing these things, it could result in higher insurance premiums. It could result in a licensing violation. It could result in a fine or a licensing violation, OSHA violation, any type of fines. Yeah. So
Do you
the
ever tell
importance of
people
that.
how scary the OSHA fines can get?
Yes, I can give you an example of one. There was a disgruntled employee who called OSHA about there was pink eye running rampant in a school. And they were saying, well, how do you guys clean the building? What are you using? Are there steps that you are taking? Is there a cleaning checklist that you are documenting that cleaning procedures being done? And, they do their investigation. That fine was $6,500.
$6,500 because multiple people got pink eye.
And they did an investigation, and they may or may not have had a cleaning checklist. They may or may not have had their spray bottles labeled. They may or may not have had the proper procedures following the cleaning. So, yes.
My favorite things, standard operating procedures and checklists. Yes.
Woohoo! Right.
And maybe they weren't even washing their hands properly.
Right.
Like,
yeah,
the fact
there's
that,
a lot.
Yeah, I tell people Kate took a whole semester class in how to hand wash. And they're like, what? How was that a thing? And I was like, she was in nursing school. She had a whole semester that was about hand washing and cleaning surfaces.
Yeah.
And they're like, I don't even know how you do a 1-hour class in it. And I was like, I've taken a 5-hour class in hand washing.
I mean, if you're getting ready for surgery and you're doing surgery prep, you can dang well bet they're going to make sure. And we had a lab. It wasn't just that I sat in on lectures. We had skills and labs. Anyway, so.
Wow. Wow. Well,
when I say we can squirrel, Tracy, this is kind of what we mean.
Well, yeah, Carrie, that is so true. Like, hand washing is all part of that, right? So, and again, if the training pieces were there, would they have followed them? Did they get that training? So you just kind of go back and do the root cause of the why.
I think sitting here, I mean, depending on who you're talking to, I mean, I think if any owners listening to this and going, it's going to cost me $6,500 if these people don't know how to clean. Like, I mean, seriously, let's get like that should be scaring every owner, actually every employee, because I don't know how many months for some of them that might be in salary, but right. Could you imagine? I can't even imagine. That's just, and I know that those fines are pretty hefty, but that's a big one.
And there's the ones for shoes and other things, but I have a thing about the shoes because of OSHA fines.
Yes, absolutely. But I don't know how they determine their fines, and but yes, it can be very hefty. And then after a certain time frame, every year insurance gets renewed, right? And then they want to go back and they want to look at licensing violations, OSHA violations, and should we continue to insure them? So that has come up lately. So that's a big thing.
Absolutely. Tracy, what's another either frequent problem, like you walk in and you can't believe the number of programs that are doing something that they should know better? Or what's another scary story? I like stories.
Transitions. I would say more than not, state licensors will tell me that the number one violation in their state is transitions, unsupervised children. I can't tell you enough in 36 years that I have walked into a classroom and a child is left inside when they've gone outside. A child is left in the bathroom when they've gone outside, or during a fire drill. They've been left on the bus. So really focusing on the importance of that why. This is a passion of mine. You know, I've seen children left on a bus. So they drive back, they go pick up the kids from public school, they come back, they get off the bus, they get them inside, and there's one left on the bus. And
because they fell asleep driving from school to the center.
And they did not do the bus sweep where they go and check every seat to make sure that everybody is off that bus. You know, and some kids, if they're like in, I don't know, a hot state like Texas or in middle of summer or Arizona, it could be very hot and that could end very badly, right? Because they can't pull that lever to get that door open. So there's been a lot of scary situations. I've seen, you know, teachers are talking on the playground and a child goes right through the fence and they're off and about. So, you know, it's transitions and it's supervision, sadly enough.
Without a doubt. So what is your favorite way for people to do the I call it nose to name.
Yep.
So what is your favorite way to help people with those transitions and make sure, like if you're training a director or an owner in, okay, this is what you need to tell your staff. What is it that how do you train them on that?
Yep. So we call it name to face. So we, you know, if we're going outside, we are lining up at the playground door and we are checking, you know, Casey, and I'm looking at your name, and Kate, I'm looking at your name. I'm really putting a name to a face, and then we're going through a threshold. So that's one transition. Once we get outside, they're going to do it again. Did we bring all the kids outside that we said we did? And then we're going to do that name to face again. And then when we come back in from outside on the playground, we're going to do that name to face. We're not going to count kids because let me tell you a story. There's been so many times where we're taking 10 2-year-olds outside and we bring 10 kids back inside, but they're not the right 10. So it's really important to put a name with the face. So during every threshold, you do a name to face and the importance of that and the why, because they can go missing. They can get caught up in a different line and not realize it and just walk in with all the other children. So really focusing on name to face.
What a great tool. And, you know, hopefully folks know this, but we know that sometimes as directors, we make assumptions that our staff know this.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
So,
like I said, I've taken 10 kids out. I've got 10 kids back in the classroom, but we realized that there's only 9 of them that belong here.
Oh, I mean, I'm a huge person for, you know, having a lanyard with all of the information, including an index card with my list of people. Even more now at my age, because I may know that there's 10. I may think I know what their names are, but there's a strong possibility I'm wrong. And this way I have it right there. And I don't have to worry about that part. I have all of their names. And if anybody's got allergies or anything like that, right?
I like the lanyard in addition to the tablet or the clipboard, because sometimes we put the tablet or the clipboard down somewhere, but the lanyard is attached to you. And it's much harder to lose.
Yeah, I like that idea. Yeah. And you mentioned the allergy list.
This tells you how long we've been doing this, because, you know, we didn't have tablets before. We did have clipboards, but
yes. I was in the clipboard phase too. So we had all of our Band-Aids and pens in the little.
Yep. There's something to be said about those stow and go clipboards. I loved those things.
Yeah.
Like sitting here going, I don't even have one anymore. I may have to go to Office Depot and get me a metal, just because. I don't know. I don't have a reason for one, but I feel like I want one. I mean, I have my colorful clipboards, but anyway.
Yep. I hear you.
So I want to know, okay, that was weird. I want to know what took you from the classroom into because this is a very niche element of the industry. So was there a story? Was there something that made you go, I'm going over there?
No. I had been a director for years, and then I was a district manager for over a couple schools. And I just thought I wanted to do something in the licensing realm because that is what I knew. And I came across a job just randomly looking, and it was perfect for me. It had the licensing, it had the safety. And from then it just grew. And so growth opportunity has just taken me where I am today. And it's just become this passion of mine.
Oh, well, Tracy, thank you so much for sharing your passion. If other people have questions and they want to talk to you or they want to connect with you, what is the best way for them to do that?
Oh, they can reach me on LinkedIn anytime.
Awesome. And so that's Tracy Nardo, Nardo, right? Okay.
Perfect.
All
Yep.
right. And then Tracy, who are you with if they're trying to make sure? Because I actually think there's more than one of you. And so
Yeah,
if they were
I've
going to
found
try to make sure they have
two-
you, they
Yeah,
should be
I'm
looking
with-
for.
Yeah, I'm with Celebrity Schools and I'm the licensing specialist.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Tracy. Carrie, is there anything else you'd like to say before we wrap up this episode?
Well, if you liked this show, share it with those who should follow what we said. Share it with, I usually have a rhyming one and it just went completely out of my head. But please share the show with other people who need to know about it, and go in and leave a review on the podcasting app of your choice, whether that is on Buzzsprout. You can also send us messages. Going in through Buzzsprout, you can send us little messages. Those are a lot of fun for us, but reviews and messages are great. And we will talk to you next week.
Thank you for listening to Childcare Conversations with Kate and Carrie. Want to learn more? Check out our website at texasdirector.org. And if you've learned anything today, leave us a comment below and share the show.